Time now for Just South of Buffalo on the People's Newscast, Philip, with a very special guest.
Dr. Kevan Yenerall from Penn West Clarion, and you looked something up on our dear friend here.
2025 Distinguished Alumni Award winner at Clarion. How's it feel?
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. It's nice to be recognized by your peers, by your students, by alumni. It just was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Kevin, the president unveiling his plan this afternoon for tariffs on imported goods. Your reaction to what went down at the White House today?
Well, this has been telegraphed for some time, and we expected it. Liberation Day and social media, and of course the campaign last year. The president, then former, now reelected president, talked about it a lot. So it's pretty much as expected. What is a little bit surprising, I think, to me, given how much the legislative branch has been really not pushing back at all. He's had more or less free reign, the president. I just was watching the Senate and their resolution to try to overturn the tariff. So not too much surprising on the presidential end. I was more surprised on the legislative end because the Senate, for the most part, like the House, has been playing a serious second fiddle to the president during the first 100 days. So there is some pushback.
What do you think this means for us now, domestically as a country, when our allies are seeing these kind of tariffs getting slapped on them?
Sure. Well, I think in the short term, we obviously will see higher prices, for Americans based on these goods that have the tariff, because that's passed along to the consumer in nearly every case. The long-term gamble from the Trump administration is that over the coming decades, this will lead to a revitalization or a revolution in manufacturing. And we're just going to have to wait and see. This is a grand experiment. Most economists tend to think that it's going to have a negative impact in the short term. And then the long term, you're going to need a lot of things to swing just right. But I want to stay in my political science lane, so I'll leave that to the economists. But short term, of course, is going to mean higher prices for most Americans. Long term, will it lead to this big change in manufacturing that the president hopes for? That remains to be seen.
What did you make of the special elections yesterday, Wisconsin and, of course, Florida?
I think the two big takeaways are, number one, in Florida, those are dramatically Republican areas. The president won them both by 37 and 30% last fall. I believe the last I looked, the Democrats lost by about 15% in each of the two races. So what it means is the Democrats are doing something they haven't done recently, and that is really contest in deeply red areas of the country. So if you're Democrats, you feel good about that. You never expected to win. You raised a boatload of money. You made the Republicans spend money there. And they won as Republican as expected, but by dramatically less. So that's semi-good news for Democrats. In terms of Wisconsin, that's, of course, the biggest news, because unlike Florida, which has drifted into serious red territory, Wisconsin is as purple and bellwether and toss-up as can be. And for now, the second straight Supreme Court race, it was a massive win for the Democrats. So that's plus 10% the last time I looked, with 95% in. So that has huge ramifications for the state. Now that's going to maintain a 4-3 liberal majority in that state. There are very badly gerrymandered districts that Republicans have had in place for some time. You're very likely to see a much more fair map, and the Democrats will likely do better and pick up some seats there. Voting rights, abortion rights, business, taxes, you name it, that's all going to be impacted in Wisconsin. The other big takeaway is, of course, Elon Musk, the president's leading advisor and spender and donor. And he spent, the last I looked, roughly $25 million there. And so that can't be seen, as anything but a huge defeat for him.